What's up, fam? How y'all doing, man? Welcome to another installment of TSC Unleashed. We in the buildings. Big ups to the family members on a beautiful Friday afternoon, man. Much love to all the family members joining us in the live stream on this one. TSC. I'm gonna be with y'all on today. We got 4 really good news items we'll cover today on this episode of TSC Unleashed. Before we depart, I'd like to give a big shout out to all of on this fantastic Friday, man. What a lovely Friday it was. Big ups to GM Care, Brother Jerry, Tramal, Tyra, Joe Gidry. What's up, Joe? JT Okula. What's up, fam? Thank y'all for joining us. David Kemp. What's up? Brian Pearson. And all the rest of the family members in the building as well. Much love to y'all and thank y'all. KB, I see you, baby. Big ups to you as well. Thank you for joining us on TSC Unleashed. It's going to be a showcast today as well. It's going to recap a few shows a few news titles, news notes of the day. Starting with the NFL family. NFL Friday roster news for Week 10. Coming off a bye week, the Eagles running back Miles Sanders is in line for a return. That's good news for Philly. They need a little bit more offense. Big ups as well as, you see Dougie P trying to get his squad together. They are leading the AFC least. Of course, with Sanders' return, Alshon Jeffrey is supposed to make his debut as well. Offensive tackle Lance Johnson is optimistic to be back on the field, so they're fighting injuries to make a return. Pittsburgh Steelers Mike Tomlin said today that quarterback Roethlisberger is expected to be activated from the C-19 list on Saturday. According to reports, Roethlisberger have an extensive walkthrough on Saturday to give him extra time with teammates ahead of the Steelers matchup. Steelers undefeated. They take on the Bengals Sunday. Placed on the reserve C-19 list in isolation after teammate Vance McDonald, tight end, tested positive for C-19 on Tuesday. So Pittsburgh hopefully getting their guy back. The Giants running back and former Falcon Devontae Freeman ankle is placed on injury reserve. How about that? Freeman will be available to return in 3 weeks. The Giants are signing defensive back Montre Hartage to the active roster. This was reported by NFL Network. Hartage is now officially on the 53-man roster. Green Bay Packer offensive tackle Dave Baccarie, however you would pronounce that, his chest practice in full regalia as he practiced, had chest issues. Packers receiver Alan Lazard, who had core muscle surgery, is still dealing with the soreness. And they're going to have opportunity to step up. You've seen several receivers last week step up for the Packers. The Chargers defensive end Joey Bosa had a concussion, and running back Justin Jefferson knee have been officially ruled out of Sunday's matchup against the Miami Dolphins. Carolina Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey, he's been ruled out against the Bucks. Coach Matt Rule said he's hopeful McCaffrey can return the following week. Defensive end Steve Weatherly, who had a finger, Bonifant, and offensive tackle Russell Okung have been also ruined out. Cincinnati Bengals running back Joe Mixon had a foot issue and is doubtful against the Steelers, according to their head coach Zach Taylor. He has not played since week number 6. 49ers wide receiver Kendrick Bourne has been activated off of the C-19 list and is expected to play Sunday against the Black and Gold. We'll see how that shakes. They're going to need all the help they can get against us. Baltimore Ravens coach John Harbaugh said that running back Mark Ingram, who has been dealing with ankle issues, participated in practice today. Ingram missed practice on Thursday. He continues to nurse and out since week 6. Good to see Mark Ingram finally getting back on the right side of things. Detroit Lion wide receiver Kenny Galladay had a hip issue and has been ruled out for Sunday. Tight end TJ Hawkinson dealing with a toe. Linebacker Jared Davis's knee. Vitali, the big defensive tackle, foot, and defensive end Nick Williams' shoulder are all questionable. Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver LaVista Shenault has a hamstring issue, has been officially ruled out against Cleveland Browns guard Chris Hubbard, have been placed on the C-19 list. Arizona running back Kenyan Drake ankle is looking to be a game time decision on Sunday. And after practicing in some capacity each day this week, Cliff Kingsbury on Friday says he's going to make sure he feels good pregame and can do what he does best. If not, he won't go. Now Drake is missed week 9 due to that ankle issue. Cardinal safety Buda Baker is dealing with a groin issue. He's questionable. Denver Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy is dealing with a shoulder issue, officially listed as questionable versus the Raiders, but Coach Vic Fangio said he's pretty confident despite being a limited participant in practice the past couple of days. And of course, the Miami Dolphins elevated defensive tackle Benito Jones and tight end Chris Myrick from the C-19 list. So very interesting, man, to say the least about that. Let's go into the Thursday night football matchup between the Colts and the Tennessee Titans. Of course, the Colts got the better of the Titans 34-17. Phillip Rivers surpassed Dan Marino, with his yardage in the game, 29-39, 308, 1 touchdown in the matchup. Nyheim Hines had the top rusher. He was 12 carries for 70 yards. He even had a Skull Pittman, the fantastic tall wide receiver from Arizona. From USC. He played well, 7 catches, 101 in the game. And then even Nyheim Hines, 4 catches for 45 yards in the scope, responsible for 2 touchdowns in the matchup to help them beat Tennessee 34-17. Tannehill 15 of 27, 1 touchdown. Derrick Henry 19 carries for 103 yards, no scores, and they were able to really just knock Tennessee around in this one, man. Corey Davis, the top man, 5 catches, 67 yards, and Tennessee 6-3. The Colts are surprising 6-3. Rivers, how about that, man? How many people seen Phillip Rivers taking the Colts on their shoulder and even surpassing Tennessee? With that win, the Colts now take the lead in the AFC South, 6-3 over top of Tennessee. Of course, Houston's 2-6. Jacksonville is in the Trash for Trevor sweepstakes. Let's move on to some more news and NBA news coming at you. Lakers interested. That's right. Lakers are interested in DeMar DeRozan. Do the rich get richer or what? After winning the championship, the Lakers are now turning their attention to acquiring DeMar DeRozan. Now, the Los Angeles native, we'll see if they are interested in dealing with, but the Lakers want DeMar DeRozan on the squad, and they're willing to trade Kyle Kuzma to get him there. So we'll get into this, see how this is. With next week's NBA draft fastly approaching and opening free agency set to start in 2 days after rumors are starting to swirl in the marketplace out to become very active. Now, you hear stuff about Russell Westbrook. He wants out of Houston. New York Knicks are really pushing to get him and then centered their young team around him in the Big Apple. Russell wants to be the man again. He don't like being the Robin to everybody's Batman, so might be the good place for him. We'll see. Boston could be in the market for Drew Holiday. That's another thing. We'll cover that on Pelicans post-game report tonight at 9 o'clock. The Magic are reportedly looking to potentially package Aaron Gordon with the number 15 overall pick to move into the lottery this year. And then the latter two of these reports came from Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer, who also mentioned that in the NBA draft guide, which you would absolutely take time to read, the Lakers have interest in DeMar DeRozan in a deal that will send Kyle Kuzma and Danny Green to the Spurs. Danny going back to soap. We'll see if the Lakers, if it is. So it's interesting if DeMar DeRozan remains a big name who have actually become unanalytical heat he's been taking over the years. He's not a good defender. He can't really shoot the three. He got kind of pummeled by the Lakers in LeBron in the Eastern Conference when he was out of the depth chart with the Raptors. So, but listen. DeMar DeRozan averaged 22 points a game, just under 6 assists and 5.5 rebounds, shoots 53%. I mean, that'll be a good thing. Rosen had an 85% percentile in points per 100 shots. So, that man, and DeMar DeRozan is a baller, regardless how you see it. And definitely an upgrade of whatever they had at the shooting guard position. The Lakers also looking to sign Rajon Rondo. They still got to deal with Anthony Davis, who's looking for a big chunk of change as well. And they're looking to kind of build the team moving forward, and Rosen is on their minds. Let's keep it moving, man, to the final news item of the show. Quick show, I told you. And that item is, of course, going to be a little boxing, man. Of course, the upcoming fight is going to be this weekend. We'll pretty much put Terrence Crawford, that's right. ESPN's say he's the best pound for pound fighting in their rankings. Terrence Bud Crawford as a matchup coming up this weekend against Kell Brooks. It's going to be an interesting fight indeed. And Crawford, he's 36-0 with 29 knockouts, unfazed by the talk. A lot of stuff going back and forth between Kell don't take his belt and all this kind of stuff. Of course, Kell Brooks hadn't fought at the welterweight level in a couple of years, so he had to lose some weight to get there. He does looking. Listen, Bud Crawford can fight, man. His mama said he'd been fighting since he was a child. She used to bet money on him. I don't know if I would have done that. It seemed a bit dysfunctional to me, but people raise their children how they want. But Bud Crawford is a fighter, man. He's a hell of a one at the welter. 36-0, 29 knockouts. The dude, he know what the hell he's doing. Let's just keep it real. And he was unfazed by Kell Brook talking. Brook coming to the matchup, who's pretty accomplished in his own right. Used to have the IBF belt a couple of years ago. He belt to Errol Spence, who has 2 of the welterweight belts, and we're looking forward to having a unification bout sooner or later down the line. But Brooks 39-2 with 27 knockouts wasn't the first choice for Crawford. He was trying to land a fight with Pacquiao. That's right, the Pac-Man, who still has a belt in the welterweight as well. So it's 4 of the belts. Crawford has 1, Pac-Man has 1, and then Errol Spence has 2 of the welterweight titles. And of course, next year, for a long time, we're gonna see the welterweight division be unified. I mean, you're gonna have a undisputed welterweight champion, either to be Bud Crawford or to be Errol, in my opinion, as Pacquiao has 2 fights left in him before he retires. It's gonna be interesting. This one's gonna be on ESPN. I don't think it's a pay-per-view matchup, but this will be a real interesting fight. And Bud Crawford will make him also special if they're watching him for years, is the fact that he's a southpaw. Well, he's versatile. He can fight southpaw, orthodox. I mean, that's like right hand or left hand. I mean, it's nothing you can do with that. The guy's super talented. But we're going to see that fight coming up this weekend. And fight fan, I urge you guys to check out that fight. I don't think it's going to be on pay-per-view. I think it's going to be straight up on ESPN. So that might be something you guys want to check out. But that's the news for today's episode of TSC Unleashed. Remember, we will be back later on today with the Sports Coma, the Saints and 49ers preview, the first hour, interviews, statistical breakdown, depth chart breakdown. Then after the second break, 2 hours. That's right, 2 hours of calls from you chiming in on what goes down on this affair. So we'll cover it all later on TSC Unleashed. So the Sports Coma. But as for TSC Unleashed, I'd like to thank you guys for chiming in today. Much love to you, and I'll see you later. Peace.